welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. I hope you're all doing well today. I thought I would just do a probably not quick get ready with me, but I'll try to make it quick. I've been really into like the very glowy look lately, so I thought I would hop on here and show you how I achieve that for myself. And then I wanted to show you how I've been using my Pan Those eyeshadows, because I found like an eye look that I've really been enjoying, and I can change it up a bit depending on my lid shade. So I just thought I'd hop on here and do my makeup. So first I'm going to start, as always, with my translucent powder before I do anything else. I really do think this helps. Now I know a lot of the bigger YouTube makeup artists who talk about this technique put setting spray on after the powder and before their primer, but I don't do that step. I just do the transparent powder and then just go straight to primer. Wow, I might actually be almost a few uses away from being done with this primer. This is the one that's in my 20 favorites in 2020. Ooh, I don't want to overdo it. That's my problem. When I get like really close to the end of something, then I kind of like, I tend to overdo it a little bit, trying to use it up, but I need to really work on not doing that. But I probably only have like maybe 1 or 2 uses left in that tube. I didn't realize I was that low. But now I will say, I'm sure one of the reasons that this makeup has been working so well for me lately is I moisturize the shit out of my face. Like, I use a serum and rosehip oil, and then my moisturizer with SPF in it, and then another moisturizer, and then another moisturizer. So my skin is very hydrated, which I feel like when it's not, obviously you get the dry patches and things don't look as good, but and I think I've mentioned it before, but I just like doing, I just like doing my concealer before my foundation. I just think it helps blend better. Okay, now comes step 1 of the glowiness. I'm gonna take a pump of my foundation, and then I'm going to take a pump of my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and I'm going to use a full pump, and I'm going to mix those together. And the reason I started doing this was because I pulled the Becca highlight into my Roulette project, or Roulette Pan collab. Not this last update, but the update before that, the second update. And I used it once as a liquid highlighter, and I'm just not a huge fan of like liquid highlighters. And then after that, I was like, well, I don't know how else I'm going to use this. I'll try mixing it in with my foundation. And I have been using it like that every single day. Like every single time I use my foundation, I mix in a pump of that. And I'm using a brush today, but I've done this with a brush and with my sponge, and I don't really see a difference in the way that it turns out. So I am going to use just a little bit of powder, mostly like towards the center of my face, because that tends to get look a little more oily. I'm almost done with my e.l.f. powder. I repressed it again, and now I'm having a really, like, there's so little left, I'm having a hard time picking stuff up on the brush, but it's gonna be a kind of an exciting update for my next 20 favorites in 2020, I think. I just need a little bit of powder, not a lot. And then for highlight, so this was something else that I kind of impulse bought on my last Ulta order. It's the new like limited edition Becca highlight in Own Your Light. It looks a little janky because it came broken and I had to repress it, but it is so pretty. So I'm going to use that. It's got this like orangey, peachy, pinky kind of shift, which is very unique to any of the other highlighters that I have. So it might be hard to tell on my phone, but there's definite like pink shimmer happening and I like it. I'm just using my Too Faced bronzer. I forgot to set my under eyes. It doesn't matter. I always do that. And then my Tarte Blush. These are all, well, except for that Becca highlighter, these are all Project Pan items. I've pretty much been using exclusively Project Pan items. Okay, and then this is the next, well, I guess the last glowy step, because there's really only 2 glowy steps, but I'm gonna take my NYX High Glass powder, which was something else that I rolled in to my Roulette Pan collab last time, and I loved it so much that it's become part of my daily routine. So what I do with this is I just put it on my cheeks to give a little extra glow there and to help blend like the blush and bronzer together a little bit better. And then I dab a little bit on the sides of my forehead, right in the middle of my face. And then setting spray. Whoops, that totally missed my face. I know that seems like a lot, but I do that, I spritz a ton and then I like pat it out with my sponge to help it melt in with the makeup a little bit better. And I'm not gonna lie, after this step, it can look a little powdery for a minute, but once everything like fully blends together, it looks really nice. Gotta get my 15 eyeshadow palettes that I work out of at this. I'm just gonna do my brows real quick. I'm gonna speed up this part because I don't do anything super interesting with my brows. Okay, I just used a little bit of my Milani eyeshadow primer to set my lids, and now I'm going in with the shade White Peach from my Sweet Peach palette for my brow bone highlight. This is, no matter what look I'm doing, this is always my first step. Okay. So next, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is Say I Do from ColourPop. This is one of the shades in my Pan Those Shadows project. No, this little palette doesn't have a mirror. Let's use this. And I start by putting this in my crease and transition like basically all the way up. Not quite all the way up underneath the eyebrow, but pretty close. Okay, and then what I've been doing is I take, I kind of do this order, I think a little weird, but I found that it, and the look, it really looks kind of weird and not cohesive in the beginning, but like the further into the look that you go, the better it looks. So just trust me, just stick with it. Then for my outer corner, I'm going in with this shade Forest from my Mega Pro 2 from Lorac, which again is also in my project. And this is the hardest part because I have a hard time making like an eye shape that's flattering for me. But it usually, even though it looks pretty wonky, by the time I'm done, it usually looks pretty good. So see, I can never get these two eyes to look the same. This one is more hooded than this one. It's quite annoying. That looks kind of weird, but whatever. We're gonna go with it. Then next, I'm gonna take this shade Baja from my Born to Run palette. This shade is not in my pan, those eyeshadows. It's actually in my monochromatic project pan that was started by Califab, and the color for May is orange. What brush have I been using with this? This? I don't know. I'll just use this. Okay. I'm just gonna use this like little essence brush. I don't know if this is the one that I've been using lately, but it looks like it has some orange on it, so maybe it is. And then I'm going over the top of the green and blending into the pink just to soften the edge a bit. And I will go back in with Say I Do, just because it does get lost a little bit because it is a pretty light color. But I basically just want to eliminate the kind of harsh upper line that I made when I put the green on. I'm going to take the same brush that I used Say I Do with, but I'm not going to put any extra product on it. I'm just going to take that over the top of the orange to help blend it in just a little bit. Okay, so I know at this point you're probably thinking like, this looks like a hot mess. It doesn't look good. And the first time I did it, that is what I thought too, but just, okay. You just gotta wait. You gotta trust me. Then I'm gonna go in with this purple shade in my CoverGirl True Naked Dazed palette. This is, once again, in my pan, those eyeshadows. And what I do with this shade, I put it on my brush and I completely cover the green. And bring it like out towards maybe you put it on 2/3 of my lid pretty much. And really what the dark green does is it's dark enough where it just basically like acts like a black shadow, where it just makes the purple when you put the purple on top of it, the purple just turns a little bit darker. Now this is the part where I have to decide. I think I'm gonna try out the color or the shade Smog from my Born to Run palette, which is also in my Pan Those eyeshadows. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter glue on the inner like half of my lid. And I'll take like a flatter, can you see that? Flatter packing brush. This is, whoops, the shade Smog right here. It's like dirty, goldy bronze color. And that might be a little too dark, but can lighten it up with some of my Stila. I don't know, there's this shade, like it doesn't look that dark in the pan, but I feel like it goes on the eye a little darker than I expect it to. So I'm gonna take the smudger brush and I'm gonna take that Baja, that orange shade, and I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line. I don't know if you can hear my cat. He wants to come in, but he's not allowed in here. And for an inner corner, this is a little like balm shadow, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name, but I'm gonna use that for my inner corner highlight. The last thing before I put on liner and stuff like that is I'm gonna take my little Stila Glitter and Glow and Diamond Dust, and I'm gonna tap that over a bunch of my lid. I like to put it on my finger as opposed to right on my eyelid, because usually it'll mess up. If I do that, it'll, one, get the wand all dirty, but then it'll mess up my shadow too. So I usually put it right on the center because that's where I want the most glitter, and then I'll tap it out to the edges. This is very dark, but that's okay. I do get, like, no matter what I do get fallout from this Stila shadow, which I'm not particularly happy about, but what are you gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna do my eyeliner and mascara, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and this is the finished look. I'll get in a little closer so you can hopefully see. I swear, it looks a lot better in person, but you can get an idea of what I've been doing with my eye makeup every day. It usually I don't know. I mean, I don't think it looks bad, but it usually looks a little better, because isn't that just the way things go, that when you actually sit down to film something, it just comes out looking not quite as good as usual? But since I'm on my phone, I don't know how well you'll be able to see like my skin and stuff, but or how well you'll be able to see that how everything is blended and sitting on my skin, but it usually, I mean, I think it looks pretty glowy looking at my camera right now, and it looks like this pretty much all day long. So it stays, like the makeup stays really well. I think it's partly because of the translucent powder I put down first, but it also could just be like the combo of things that I'm using or like my skincare routine or whatever. I don't know, but my makeup sits on my face really nicely. I mean, this is basically the same thing I wear every single day lately, but I am not sick of it yet. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you again real soon.